What is up, guys? This is Linthio coming at you with the first deck profile of my samurais. Now, the super heavy samurais are ones that I just think are just so much fun to play. They're definitely really not competitive in any way, shape or form. But hopefully, since it is a part of Arc V and one of the main characters' decks, that we will get more and more. But nevertheless, this is just the take that I have. It's a complete 40 card monster deck. And that's just the way I like running it, because I think it shines in that way, basically. So, to start it off, we have the 3 Big Benki. This is your main boss monster, aside in the main deck, basically. His effect is, when he's in defense position, or when he's normally special summoned in attack position, you can change his battle position. And then it can attack while it's in face-up defense position. So, it includes other super heavy samurais as well. So if you have him in defense, all the others can all attack as well as himself. So being a 3/5 beta is pretty solid, and I really like this guy, and a lot of combos kind of revolve around him. Then this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. We have Flutist. I think Flutist is actually one of the best cards, as well as my favorite in the deck. Don't know what it does. You contribute it to special summon a super heavy samurai from your hand during either player's turn. When a card or effect activates that targets a super heavy samurai monster, you can banish it to negate the activation if you do destroy the card, and then you can only use it once per turn. So basically, if you have this and this in your hand, you can summon tribute to special summon him, and then you've already got protection in the grave, so he's just a really solid card in general. Really do like him, and he's kind of one of the reasons why I actually like the deck, to be honest, because having built-in protection when you don't have any spell or traps is pretty important. Next up, we have 3 Trumpeter. This guy is pretty cool. So the way that you normally use him, he's the first tuner that you'll see here, out of just 2 others, or 1 other in the deck, sorry. Trumpeter allows you to go into Susanoo, and the easiest way to do it is by using Big Benki. Now, the ways that you can go into these combos is a couple of different ways. His effect is you can special summon him from your hands, but then you can only, if you have no spell or traps, which we never do, and then you can only special summon super heavy samurai monsters for the rest of the turn. And if he's used as a tribute and you have no spell or traps, you can special summon him. So you can see the different ways that you can use him. He's a really cool card, and I really do like it. 3, I've kind of been going back and forward between 2 and 3, if I'm honest, because maybe I'm thinking it might be a bit cloggy, but I don't know, it's been working out alright so far, so I'm just sticking with it. Next up, we have one of the newer cards, 2 Ball Battle Ball. So Battle Ball is a pretty interesting concept of a card. His effect is, if all monsters you control are super heavy samurai monsters, and you have no spell and trap cards, in your graveyard you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls that has a level, and then you send basically both of them to the graveyard if they, sorry for hitting the camera, if they equal one of your super heavy samurai synchro monsters. So you take a level 4, you go into Ogre, and you take a level 8, you can go into Susanoo. So this is a really interesting guy. A few people have been taking in the new Godzilla cards, in the way that you would just tribute your opponent's monster special summon, then normal summon this and take the level 8, and then you go into that. I don't actually have them, unfortunately, right now, but it's an interesting concept that I've actually not tested just yet, because I don't know how it's going to run, but I'm definitely going to be trying it out very soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, Battle Ball is just a really cool card. Then going to non-tuners, we have 3 Scale. He's one of the best ones in here, one of the best level 4s. He basically just special summons level 4 or low when he's normal summoned or special summoned from the grave. And it's just really good. You can make XYZ plays, you can make tuner plays, all different things like that. It works really well with the Trumpeter. So, you know, great card in general, and a really solid choice at 3. Next up, we have Blue Brawler. Blue Brawl is here just because he is a 2k defender, but also, importantly, when you have Big Benki out, he is a 2k attacker. So he's pretty good, and it's also level 4 for the rank 4 toolbox. So I do like him at 3, and it works out well. Next up, one of the best cards as well. This card is insane. We have Soul Piercer. Soul Piercer does exactly what it says on the tin. You equip it to a super heavy samurai monster, gives it piercing damage, and also when it's sent from the field to the graveyard in any way, shape, or form, you can search your deck for a super heavy samurai monster, except himself. So it's a really important effect, that, because it means that we can actually search out a lot of cards, and it just means that in general it's a pretty solid card and solid choice. Next, one of the cards that some people play at 1 and 2, but I'm playing at 3 because I absolutely love it and I feel that it absolutely destroys games, is Gauntlet. Gauntlet, I'm going to read his effect for you. Gauntlet, you can target one super heavy samurai monster you control, equip this target from your hand to the side of the field to the target, gains 400 attack. During either player's damage step, when a defense position super heavy samurai monster you control battles an opponent's monster and you have no spell and trap cards in your graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. The battling monster's defense becomes double the original defense until the end of the turn. So you can see how pretty dumb that is. We use Big Benki, it goes up to 7k. So you can see just even Blue Brawler goes up to 4k. See how important it is. It's a nice little out to towers as well, because it just means you can beat over whatever you want. And you can even use, just as I said, Blue Brawler is such a minuscule card to get over towers. So this card's really insane and I really do love it. You never use it for the first effect, you always hold on to it because that's where it truly shines. So Gauntlet at 3, I've never looked back because you can just sack some games really, really badly. Next up we have Soul Beads. Soul Beads is really good. Basically, when it's equipped to a monster, and if it would be destroyed for once per turn, it is not. So basically, if they Dark Hole and it's equipped to this, it's not destroyed. But if they Dark Hole twice, then you know it'd be destroyed. And the second effect is really important as well. If the defense position monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can discard this to send it to, well, to special summon it, to special summon the monster that was just destroyed. So you can see how useful that is. Soul Beads is actually a really nice one, but to me, it gets a bit cloggy at 3, so that's why I've got it at 2, and it's worked out pretty well. Finally, for the super heavy samurais, we have Soul Suit. Soul Suit is really good as well. He has built-in protection, so basically the important effect is you can discard this card, then target one defense position super heavy samurai monster you control, loses 800 attack and defense, but it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So, just defense, it only uses defense, sorry. So you can see how useful this is. Like, all these cards where normally you might suffer from not having spell and traps to protect your monsters, we have loads of built-in monster effects that are hand traps that are just really solid. So this is why I like running this deck, but Soul Suit at 2 is good because you see it just enough. And then the final one is Waj. This is just here because he's a special summon if you don't have any monster spell or trap cards, and he can be used as 2 tributes for a 2 tribute Super Heavy Samurai, which is basically Big Benki. So you can special summon him and then go into that, or you know, you can use it as a level 7 Synchro or any others, to be honest. And then going into the non-Super Heavy Samurais, we have Gigantis. This is here just for any removal of back row, also for level 4 rank plays. So he's a pretty solid card. You can run more of him if you want, but I just like the 1 because you know, it's pretty solid. Next up, we have 3 Machina Fortress. This is a Monster Mash deck. We have a lot of machines, so it just makes sense to use Machina Fortress. And to go along with him, we have the 3 Gear Frame to search him out. These cards are just great. It means you can, you know, sit back a little bit. Machina Fortress still causes problems for a lot of decks, if I'm honest. And it's just really nice to be able to use him and bring him back from the grave as well. I can send over the Big Benki to my grave to get him back and things like that. So, you know, he's a very, very good choice for the deck. And then we have the 3 Giant Rat. Now, Giant Rat's a little bit old, bless him. He's on his way out because of his effect, because it's have to be destroyed by battle. But he is actually pretty important because you're able to special summon out Big Benki from deck, and then with Big Benki's effect, you can switch him to defense, so you can keep him covered. So Giant Rat's really good because it searches out a lot of things, and just in general, I quite like the card in here. It might be a bit slow, but this deck is a bit slow until it gets rolling, and then it's pretty crazy. And then the final 2 cards, we have Marmiting Captain. This card's pretty good in this deck as well, but the only reason I don't have it at 3 is I do have a lot of lower level Super Heavy Samurai monsters that I don't particularly want to special summon. So Marmite and Captain's here just, to get the rip off on other things like Big Benki and such. So, pretty solid cards, and that is 40 cards for the deck. So, we shall go into the extra deck now. We have the 2 Susanoo. Normally, you don't need 2. I just like having 2 just in case one doesn't go off. Because he's just really good. Being able to steal your opponent's spell and traps and use them as yourself, and then they get banished as well. So if you go against like shadows, you can take the shadow fusion if they're trying to get it back, and if they do destroy it or anything like that, it's just going to be banished or other things like that. So it's a really solid card, and being 3/8 as well is pretty beefy. Next up, we have 2 of the brand new card Ogre. This is the reason, and this is the sole reason why I'm doing this deck profile, because Ogre was kind of the missing key for this deck, in my opinion. Being able to special summon and then Harpy's Feather Dust to your opponent's field is just stupid, and it's just so good because it also baits out like a lot of things as well. So having Ogre in the TCG is finally amazing. So running him at 2 is pretty solid. Then going into some of the generic ones, we have the 1 Black Rose, we have the 1 Goyo, we have Naturia Beast and Barkium because we all have Earth Tuners, and it's pretty easy to summon them. In all fairness, there are some restrictions on the way that you might summon your Super Heavy Samurais, but if you do it correct, you won't have any of the restrictions. Level 7s, we have the Dragosack and the Big Eye. These are just here for Machina Fortress, but it's pretty simple to summon them as well, and they're still powerhouses. The 1 Gigan X to search out your machines, pretty standard. The 1 X Tonight to just blow up stuff. The 1 Castell, the 1 Cowboy, and the 1 Dweller. So that is it, guys. That is the Super Heavy Samurai deck profile. I hope you did enjoy it. This is just a bit of a fun deck. And I definitely recommend people to, at least try them out on DN or DevPro or the new Yu-Gi-Oh game. Anything like that, I do really think people should try it out because it's actually really fun. And there's some pretty disgusting plays you can do with these 2 here mainly. So that is it. I hope you did enjoy the deck profile. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the archetype and the deck. As I said, let me know. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.